G'day everyone and welcome to BowlsLink Pennant Training Guide video. My name's Aaron Delaporte. I'm the Operations Manager at Bowls WA and also the BowlsLink Coordinator within WA. What I will take you through today is how to use BowlsLink for administering your pennant competition, how to log in, how to import players, how to match skips, entering results, importing a previous team, and then some further tips and tricks and comments. So basically, BowlsLink is of course the second iteration of what was previously Bowls Connect. It is a brand new system that has been built for bowls in Australia. It is still under further development, so what you see in this video and in future will hopefully develop, improve and be better for the sport of bowls. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is obviously log in. Hopefully your clubs have all contacted Bowls WA through the Pennant contact forms or by contacting me, and we have set up all the people at your club that need to be set up to run the system and enter results. Basically, each member is assigned within the system rights to profiles that will allow them to enter the results or access the database. So these are all member logins. There are no more club and team logins. What you'll notice also is that I'm using BowlsLink Beta, which is like a training and development system. The real system is of course just BowlsLink, and the address is bowlslink.com.au. Just be mindful, if you have used the beta system, your login and passwords may be different between each system, so be mindful of which one you're going in. When you first log in, it will ask you for your profile selection. This is really important when entering the results. You will generally have a club administration profile and a club membership profile. You need to select your club membership profile to do the results. Once you've clicked on that, it'll be your club name obviously. You then click the green button, select profile. The way you will know if you are in the wrong profile, you will have a list of members. If you're in the club membership profile, so the right area, you will have your name, your membership number and some details about yourself. So very important that you are in your club membership profile, so it should just show your name. I'm going to switch over to my BowlsLink Beta account. To get to your pennant competition, you need to go obviously to competitions, and this is really important that my club entries is selected. So on the left in blue, my club entries, and then in play competitions. This can easily trip people up, and there are a number of steps, and MemberPoint are working on ways to make this login process a little bit easier. We're hoping that in future you'll be able to do it direct from the fixture, which I'll show you later is displayed on our web page. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use WA Pennant Competition 9th of October. This is set up for a training session we're going to have later tonight. Using your little actions button, again it's three little dots on the right hand side. This may be something that may be changed to be a bit easier to find. Please select Manage Results. You will never need to select Manage Entry because the entry is already set up for you. This will then take you to a list of your fixtures. They should all start out in unplayed. And then as you're entering results, or they'll be in resulted, and when they've been finalised, they'll go into completed. I'm going to jump into one I've done a little bit on earlier. You then use your action button and click on view results. This will take you to a display panel for that fixture. Of course, it should have your club name, either home or away, and a number of rinks depending on what Pennant competition you're playing in. Obviously, the women's Saturday and Friday night competitions may only have 2 rinks. The men's Saturday competition will have 4 rinks, and there are obviously other comps with only 3 rinks. The buttons to the left that are pointing inwards, they expand the rink selection and allow you to perform actions. You'll see the big blue button, select teams. This is the first step to importing your players into the system. When you click on that, from the right hand side, you will now get the option to import players into the competition. The blue button next to the bars allows you to import club members into the team, and what you will notice is that this list may be quite long. You'll see even in this training one there's a lot of players. These will appear in a random order. However, the system uses what's called predictive text. So if you start typing a person's name, it will then quickly shortcut and allow you to find them much quicker. Predictive text is definitely your friend. Once you find the player you want, click import, and then it's a matter of going through that same process and finding players that you want to bring into your team. And keep doing that until you have a full list of players. Once you have your 4 players, click save. And now they will show in the competition. So what we might do is a couple of rinks. Select another team of players. Import. Important to understand that you will only ever need to import a player once into a team. Once they are imported, they are then available to be selected. And once I've imported 4 rinks worth, I can show you that. So I'm just picking out some random names from this training system. You'll also notice that there's both male and female males on this list. So if you do have a substitute of the opposite gender, they can still be selected. So we now have 1, 2, 3 rinks. I am using an iPad to do this training, just to show how easy it is. BowlsLink can be accessed through any device, even a phone will be able to be used. However, your screen will obviously be a lot smaller, and different parts of the system may move to fit your device, but it's a device responsive system, so it will always work for you. So we now have our 4 teams in. If we had made a slight error, in this case Vince and June were in the wrong positions, we already have all the players listed now in our list. Again, using predictive text, you can bring them up into the team. You'll notice that June was already in as a second. Because I selected her as a lead, it's now removed her. What you'll also notice is that right at the end of the list there's an option to select an unplayed player. So as occasionally happens in the lower divisions, sometimes you can't fill your full team, you may need to select an unplayed player. There is also an option to select a substitute. Metro competitions don't allow that, but some country competitions may allow you to select a substitute. Alright, so that is obviously the first step with the Pennant competition system, is getting your players in. What I'm going to do is quickly switch to another club. Again, making sure I've selected my club entries and in play. I'm just going to switch around. And actually import some away team players. I'll only do 2 rinks worth here. So again, going in, using the blue button, using predictive text if you want to quickly find somebody. The important thing to also understand here is that if someone is not showing in this list, it's because they are not in your club's membership database. So you may need to go see your secretary or your club manager and ask them why the member's not there. They may have forgotten to add them to the database. They may not be an active member. They may not have playing rights, which is all required. Alright, the good news is for an away team, so in this case Merriwa, once all your players are in the system for a game, that is pretty much all your requirements for that week of competition. What I'm going to do now is quickly switch back to my number 1 club. And go back in as I was the home team. You'll now see that once I have my 2 skips in, or my 2 sides, it gives me the option now to update results. However, what we need to understand is that in Pennants, what is in the system is not necessarily reflected by what happens on the day, because the 2 managers get together, they do a bit of a shuffle with the cards, lay them out on top of each other, and through luck of the draw, 2 skips go out and play each other. And that obviously might not necessarily reflect what's in the system. In this case, my team may have actually played the Rink 2 side of Greg Regan, John O'Brien, Rob Hancock and Claire Smith. So the home team is responsible for aligning these sides, and by using the little actions button you have the ability to swap the away teams. When you select that, it then asks for one of the skippers. In this team I want to swap the Rink 2 skip. And you'll see that that whole rink has now gone up to the top rink box. So my rink is playing now Greg Regan's, and Les Willis's rink has gone into Rink 2. So depending on how many rinks you have and how the draw pans out, you may have to swap a couple of rinks to align them correctly. Again, if Rink 2 was out, I could use the swap away team button and change that one around. Once you're happy with your rinks as the home team, you can then obviously enter some results. This is fairly straightforward. You just go in and put the scores straight in. Doesn't help when the the iPad keyboard comes up, but there you see a score that's in 23 all, and it's allocated half a point to each side. Again, this time the away teams scored the point. They've won 23-12. Oops. If the away side doesn't have their rinks in, you'll need to use the three little buttons to enter the results. Hopefully this won't happen too often. And finally, the last rink. So I now have my 4 lots of scores in, and the system will add up shots scored and allocate the total points. So in this case, the home teams won 81-78. Their total points is 6.5 to 1.5. The system does all that for you. Effectively, that's now completion of the home team's responsibilities. So they've added their players in, they've matched the skips, and they've added in the results. That will automatically be uploaded to the website, and then there will generally, in the real BowlsLink system, be a finalise button. When that's selected, the ladder will also be updated. Alright, so the away team has no further commitments within the system. However, they should obviously go in and check that all the scores are correct. If there are any disputes, please send a Pennant result sheet through to Bowls WA, or in the country league case to your country league, who should be able to then go in and correct that. Hopefully clubs will get the hang of this system pretty quickly, and there'll be very few mistakes. We will be, of course, lenient on clubs in the first few weeks. We will be more inclined to find out why something wasn't done within the system, if players weren't in or scores weren't updated, what the issue was, and how we can help the club to resolve that. Alright, going back in to our competition, I'm now going to log in into a round subsequent. So this could be week 2 of your pennants. You then, now with another little actions button, which is right up the top, have the ability to import teams. When you click on that, it'll ask you to select the previous round. This will generally have the date on it. My keyboard's just blocking it. If I can get it. Yep, there we go. It will have the date and who you've played. And what you will notice now is that all the rinks from that previous game have been imported. So this is a good little tool to save you a lot of time. Obviously you don't want to be re-entering 16 names if there was a change. So you can either select manage teams from the actions button or select team. Assuming now we did have someone to play, and click save. So we've filled in that ring. Of course you could change any of those positions. You could import some more players through the little blue buttons. So that's effectively the system. further info. It is important to understand that Bowls WA are definitely here to help you. I will pop up some contact emails for people that know how to use the system. The two RBMs, Clive Adams and Steve Unsworth, myself, Aaron Delaporte, and the competition manager, Peter Harris. We are there to help clubs try and use this system as best they can. The display area, so just on the Bowls WA website. For Metropolitan Pennants, it's the left-hand Metro Pennant and Competition portal. You'll see we don't have all the comps up yet. We've just started on the women's Saturday pennant comp. In the country pennant portal, depending on which league you're in, you'd go to your panel. I'm selecting Batavia. Again, your pennant comps should display, and then you could come into whichever comp was appropriate. This is how the results display. If you click anywhere in the grey bars, it will then open up the result, and again you can use the arrows to see the full teams, so who played who. Something else which is really handy is using the pinned items. So if you're just interested in a couple of sides, so for example you're just playing in second division men's pennant, you can pin that to the left hand side and then enter through to the competition that way. It's probably more appropriate in men in the bigger leagues and in the metro area, but it will allow you quicker access rather than sorting through a long list of competitions. So thanks for joining me. I hope this has helped. Any further support, please get in touch with the names on the screen. Thank you and good bowling.